Hello, in this video we're going to be creating or preparing the code for our project. If you in the last video, what we did is we create the environment with the files that we're going to be working. In this video, we're going to be developing the index HTML. Okay, in this case, it's going to type HTML. And as you can see, we have the green arrow right here. When this light up, means the computer is ready to autocomplete some code. And in this case, HTML is the call signal to autocomplete a boilerplate. The only thing that I did is I just hit enter. And let's gonna do it. Let me just do it again, just one more time. What I'm gonna do is HTML and then hit enter. And then the computer is gonna autocomplete and give me a boilerplate because HTML is the call for or the code to tell to the computer, give me a boilerplate, which is this piece of code that is gonna allow me to start. This is the basis of a HTML document. Title. Then it's going to start with a title, and the title is going to be add two numbers. Okay, now let's going to remember what we talked before. In our mockup, you remember that we're going to have one box and a second box, and inside of those two main boxes, we're going to have the different elements that we're going to be displaying. How are we going to do that one? So let's going to go to the body. And in the body, let's gonna start creating a div. And as you can see, once again, the green arrow is telling me I am ready to autocomplete the div code. I hit enter, and this is what I get. Div, and it's asking me for the class. And I'm gonna call the class for this one that is gonna be called top, because this is gonna be this top place. All right. Let's gonna continue with the next box. And as we know, the next box is gonna be also a div. And as you can see, the green arrow telling me I'm ready to autocomplete. And basically what it did is prepare for me the end of the div that I didn't type. It put the open and closing signals, and actually it's also typed the class. And in this case, in this time, we're gonna give it a class name of main. Main. Okay, sounds perfect. Now that we have our two containers, let's gonna start populating those containers. As you can see, inside of this container we have one text that it says add two numbers, and then another one that it says JavaScript. Let's gonna prepare those ones right there. The first thing that we're gonna be doing is gonna be a H1. Hit enter, and right here we're gonna say add two numbers. Next line, it's gonna be a H3. Enter, and right there we're gonna say JavaScript DOM manipulation. Okay, so now we finish those two areas right here. Example of those ones, we have it right here. In this example, as you can see, we have this div with class top, which is this element right here, the outside, the big box of the big square. And then we have add two elements and JavaScript DOM manipulation, which is going to be this one and then the second one. Now let's gonna start creating this one right here. And I know that we need to put one text, one input box, text again, input box. But you can see right here that we have like a space in between. Okay, let's gonna start coding that thing. The very first thing that we're gonna be putting right here, let's gonna give some space. Okay, in this case, let's gonna continue. And the first text that we're gonna be putting right there is gonna be a label. And this label, let's gonna say input or data. It doesn't really matter what we put right there. We just need to put something. And right here, between these two elements is where we're gonna be putting the text that we're gonna be displaying in the label. And in this case, I want to display first number. Okay. After this label, I'm gonna put a BR, which stands for breaking. It's an element. you see how right here we have the text, and in the next line we have the input box, and that's what I'm doing. I am pushing the input box to the next line, and in this case the input box is gonna be, you're right, input, and it's gonna be type text. We don't really need a name, so I'm gonna delete the name. Something very important that actually we do need is ID. ID, and in this case we're gonna be given an ID of num1 for number one. And you know what? In this one, we don't need to put a value on it. Let's gonna keep it simple, and it's gonna just leave it like that. And after that one, we're gonna be adding a br and br. Basically, we are breaking the next line and give it an extra space. And let's gonna see so far what we have. Let's gonna file and save. I'm curious to see how much we have. So we're gonna open in browser, or you can go and open it doing double click in your computer. And right now, let's go. I'm just curious to see what we are having. I just want to continue to see the progress of this, because we are typing a lot of code, but we haven't seen exactly what is exactly what we are coding. And I want you to see it right here, what we are creating. Right now, we have, if you remember, we have add two numbers, we have, and then JavaScript, which we have it right here, and the boxes you cannot see it right now, but we're gonna color it later. And then we have first number, and then let's gonna create the second one. The way that we're gonna be creating the second one is gonna be very simple. We're gonna copy all this information, give it two spaces, and just paste it. And in this case, everything we need the same, with exception of the text. Right here we want second number, and we want the ID to be number 2. Okay, let's gonna save our changes, and let me see. See, now we have a second box right there, and we can put a number right there, like a 5 and 4. So it's taking shape. Right now we are up to here. Next part is that we need a button, and yeah, you are right. The way to put a button, let's gonna give it a little bit space so we keep the code organized, and it's gonna say, and you can see that we have already the green light to execute the button, and we have a button. And in this one, we're gonna call this button. The most important thing that I wanna create is right here in this part. We need to give it a name, because right here it says button, but what I really wanted to show is sum the numbers. And one more thing that I really would like, in this case, we don't really need a name for this button. Later in another tutorial, we're gonna be using that specific part. What I would like to create for this button is gonna be on click. And right here, we're gonna create the name of the function that we're gonna create later. And in this one, we're gonna call it add, and open a close parenthesis. This part right here, we're gonna come back to this one when we create our code.js file. For the moment, this part right here, you just need to know that this is gonna be the part that is gonna execute what we're gonna do then later. Okay, after our button, we wanna create, what I want you to do is give me two breaking lines, BR and BR. Okay, so save your progress and show me what you have so far. And as you can see, right now we have the button. The next thing that we need is gonna be, you guys are right, let's gonna copy once again what we did already, and we're just gonna paste it right there. And in this case, we're gonna change the label to display another text. The text that we want is gonna be total. Alright, that's gonna be a text. And the input ID also need to change, and in this case I'm gonna call it number 3. So, and let's gonna control save, and let's gonna review the changes. As you can see right now, we have add two numbers, JavaScript, dot manipulation, first number, and we can put something right there, second number, and we can put something right there, and we can push a button and nothing appears right here. But so far, we already have what we need to start creating. This is the basic HTML.